of it goes underappreciated, that I think when it comes to our brain and how our brain functions, a lot of us have issues and a lot of us struggle. And oftentimes it's easier to show compassion to others than it is to show compassion to ourselves. This book just is just full of insights. And we provide a bottle of vitamin D and a bottle of theanine, which is Mother Nature's wonderful sort of soothing and relaxing supplement. And so hopefully the value of those products, which are more than the value of the book, encourages you to read the valuable information in the book or to share it with a loved one. Again, I think we don't appreciate how much of an impact we can have on how our brain functions. And the fact that how our brain functions really determines how we move through life, how we enjoy relationships or struggle with relationships or struggle with our work. It's an organ like any other organ, and it shouldn't be something that we treat any differently than issues with any other organ in our body. Unfortunately, and that's why the title of the book is The End of Mental Illness, because we do treat it differently. And hopefully this book is one large step to not looking at it in the negative fashion that many of us have in the past, all of us have in the past, certainly as a society. So enjoy the video, enjoy meeting my dear friend, Daniel Amen. Hi there, Andrew Lessman here, playing an unusual role today. Normally I'm the guest, but today I'm bringing you a guest, and my guest is Dr. Daniel Amen, a dear friend, someone who's helped me and helped many friends and loved ones, and who can now help you, and help you with arguably the most important organ in our body, our brain. It determines how we feel. It determines how we can maintain the quality of our relationships. And I'm doing something very special today. Normally I'm talking to you about vitamins. Today I'm talking to you about this book because it's even more important than my vitamins. And it's my nonprofit that's really behind this, because it's something that I think is more important than me having a profit. So we are also including 2 bottles of vitamins, our brand new theanine, that is a wonderful calming nutritional supplement. It's an amino acid, and it also helps support focus as well. So it's unusual. Usually when we think of calming, we think of falling asleep, but calming and increased focus is something that's unique to theanine. Also, you'll get a free bottle of vitamin D. So my brand new theanine, brand new vitamin D, that would be over $30 value. It comes for free with this book. That's just $19.90, normally a $26 plus book. So, and a 10% off coupon that you could use between July and December of this year. So hopefully I've made that too good to be true, too good to say no to. And Daniel, my dear friend, the book provides all sorts of tools for someone who might be struggling, or just someone who's aging. And all of us, as we're aging, our brain is aging, and if we want to avoid issues in the future.
Well, thank you, Andrew. Such a joy to be with you. And I wrote The End of Mental Illness after I've been a psychiatrist just about 40 years. And we've been looking at the brain for the last 30 years. And I came to understand
sorry to interrupt. You actually look at the brain, whereas most psychiatrists never look at the brain. Right. They're treating symptoms or what they're talking to their patient about. But you actually have the benefit of over 160,000 brain scans. And the book is replete with dozens of images of brain scans. So you actually see how behaviors and how medications or how supplements affect the brain itself and how it then affects behavior. Sorry.
And that's the idea behind The End of Mental Illness. These illnesses, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, ADHD, PTSD, bipolar disorder, whatever, they're not mental health issues, they are brain health issues. Get your brain right and your mind will follow. That if we're gonna end mental illness in this country, it will only begin with a revolution in brain health. So your brain is an organ just like your heart is an organ, and your brain will go, oh, I'm sad. That means it might be inflamed, or it might have had a head injury, or it might be exposed to toxins. And in the book, I have this mnemonic, Bright Minds, to help people know, well, what are the major risk factors to lose your mind, brain risk factors, and what can you do in a simple, actionable way.
Right. And again, it's interesting that you talk about in the book, and you mention this in all your books, and all of Daniel's books are amazing, that in literally looking at the brain, it's unique when you look at any other doctor treating any other system or organ or structure in the body, looks at that system, organ, or structure, that you are unique among, say, psychiatrists, at least initially, in that you, and hopefully there are others now who do this, but you can look at a brain. I remember at the time, I told you I played football, and you're like, "Shit, you're not a good idea." But you said at the time that you could look at, say, a professional football player, and by looking at their brain scan, you could tell me what position they played or how long they played it for. That I always talk about structure and function, whether it's your heart or your bones, that the same applies to your brain, that maintaining a healthy structure of your brain, the healthy function follows. And that's something that this book makes eminently accessible to anyone, to change their brain, and by changing your brain, you change your health, you change how you think. And again, another thing you bring out in the book, how you think affects the structure, the function, and the health of your brain.
Well, and there's nowhere in school where they teach you how not to believe every stupid thought you have. And we live in a society that is really increasing the negativity, because negativity drives clicks on social media. So
Right.
Whenever you're listening to the news, they always lead with the most awful, evil, terrible thing, because then they have your attention, which means their advertisers will make more money. And we have to be so careful to guard our minds, or it drives, this negativity will drive anxiety. And anxiety levels in teenagers have just skyrocketed. It will drive depression, and suicide has actually increased 33% since 1999, while cancer has declined 27%. Why? We're working on the wrong paradigm, where we make diagnoses based on symptoms with no biological data. And what my practice does, it's like, no, we should look at your brain before we give you anything for it. Now, I realized a long time ago, not everybody can come to one of my clinics and get a scan. Right. So based on now 160,000 scans, we develop checklists that are in the book that help you know, well, what are my risk factors? And then what can I do about it? It's so actionable.
No, and the book is so accessible. It's incredibly easy to read. And even I found, after I read the book, it was sitting on my table, that I would just open it to a page anywhere. It's kind of like those books that have a saying for the day. You can open the book and see what your saying for the day is. That it's just so easy to access, and everything is so important. And it's the sort of things that we all need to be reminded of, or we all need to learn for the first time. And what I've done, what my nonprofit is doing, is just making this book available in an offer that's hopefully too good to refuse. Because at $19.90, it's a $26 hardcover book that I'm also providing with it a free bottle of a 60 capsule supply of my brand new theanine, a free bottle of a 60 capsule supply of a 2000 IU vitamin D3, and a 10% off coupon that you could use in the second half of the year between July and December. So all of those things, it's an over $60 value. So it's just a great opportunity to take advantage of, or to do something for arguably the most important organ in your body, your brain, because how we feel depends upon how healthy our brain is, how well we process information, how well we engage in our relationships. Our work is determined by how well our brain functions. And this book just provides a myriad of easy to apply lessons and tools that anyone could follow to make a profound difference. And as I said before, I think you're half doctor, you must be half lawyer, because you make such a great case for engaging in the activities in this book. And hopefully it's just an opportunity for everyone to take advantage of and keep this book, keep it as a coffee table book, or keep it in your bathroom, wherever you'll just thumb through it and read it as frequently as possible, because it will change your life.
It also makes for a great gift.
Right.
If you know someone who's struggling with anxiety or depression and what they've been doing really hasn't been working, and as you and I talked about off camera, when someone is struggling with, quote, a mental health issue, it doesn't just affect them. It affects everybody in their environment, at home, at work, at church, wherever. And so when people get their brains right, their mind follows, but then that helps everyone around them. And it's just so simple. Like you said, your brain's involved in everything you do, how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you get along with other people. It's the organ of intelligence, character, and every decision you make, which means when your brain works right, you're healthier, you're happier, you have more money because it's about decision making and your relationships are better. But when your brain is not right, for whatever reason, you had a head injury, sadder, sicker, poorer, less successful. So this small investment, and I love, not only do they get the book, but they get nutrients to support their brain, because both vitamin D and theanine impact the brain in powerful ways that...
And we talked about omega-3s as well, because that's a structural organ, a structural component of the brain itself.
Of the brain.
And what another thing that you do here, I think a lot of folks are potentially embarrassed or ashamed when they might suffer from some mental health issue, and they might not go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And even if they do, I mean, if I broke my leg doing something foolish, people, and I had a broken leg, whatever. Even if I did something foolish, I just had a broken leg, if I was snowboarding or something like that, it doesn't change your opinion of me. But there's something strange about mental health issues, that it kind of takes on this pejorative, and I think that's why a lot of us might be ashamed or embarrassed or don't do the things we ought to do. And this is a way to do it, to offer self-care to you or someone you love. And hopefully what this book also does is help to change that perspective, that it isn't something pejorative or negative, that it's no different than a sprained ankle or a hurt knee or an upset stomach, that it's the brain, an organ like any other organ in your body, that when it has an issue structurally that you could see on a scan, it's evident functionally. And functionally just means how we think or how we behave. So hopefully this goes a long way to eliminate that negative connotation of mental health issues, where it's just a brain health issues. And sometimes that brain health issue pertains to another health issue in your body, that when you correct that, your brain is fine.
No one is shamed for cancer or diabetes or heart disease, even though all three of those have significant lifestyle contributions.
Right.
No one should be shamed for depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, their brain health issues. And I think until we get rid of the term mental illness, call them what they really are, that people, and I've heard this thousands of times in my career from family members, it's like, I'm not going to go see a psychiatrist. I'm not crazy. And psychiatrists, we've done that to ourselves.
Right.
Because if everybody wants a better brain, right? So what if mental health was brain health? And nobody cares about their brain. Why? Because you can't see it. You can see the wrinkles in your skin or the fat around your belly. And
I say that about the liver
something
all the time, yes.
But when I started looking at the brain, and I looked at mine and I'm like, oh, that's not good, because I played football in high school. I had meningitis when I was a young soldier, and I had bad habits. And my 60-year-old mother had a better looking brain than I did.
Right.
So I developed this concept I call brain envy.
Right.
I wanted a better brain. And because of that, I've learned all this great stuff I put in the book.
No, but even the same with me. I figured if there's one scan of any organ I have that's going to be the best scan in the world, it's going to be my brain. Thanks to my parents, I was blessed with a good brain. And unfortunately, I went to see you just after I had crashed a mountain bike. And it was one really ugly scan. You reminded me of that recently. But when you start doing the right thing, and I remember we scanned it again, it was only a matter of weeks later. And the scan was a beautiful scan. And so it's what we do and how we treat our body and how we treat our brain that determines how well our brain is going to treat us. It shouldn't be the victim of our conduct, it should be the beneficiary, because it goes where we take it. And then we follow. So hopefully, and I know we only have a couple of more minutes here, hopefully everyone takes advantage of this. It's going to be our springtime special. It's a book that's retail is over $26. It's a hardcover book. It's an amazing book. It's a life-changing book. Even for me, as many of Daniel's books I've read before and other books, this is a book that just offers so many tidbits and so accessible to change your life. And it's not just a $26 book for $19.90. That in and of itself would be remarkable, and free shipping and handling. And we'll give you a coupon for any vitamin purchases you make between July and December. You'll get 10% off. That would justify it on its own. But we're also including a free bottle, 60 capsule supply of my 2000 IU vitamin D3, and a 60 capsule supply of a brand new product, our brand new theanine. It's an amino acid with unique properties. It's concentrated in green tea, interestingly enough. I originally discovered it because I can't tolerate coffee because of the caffeine in coffee. But mysteriously, I can tolerate green tea. And I finally understood the benefits of theanine, which offers a calming effect on the caffeine and increases focus at the same time. So it's something that you can enjoy the benefits of at work, especially on a stressful day. So you'll get a 60 capsule supply of theanine, a 60 capsule supply of vitamin D. You'll get the book, you'll get a 10% off coupon. So just the vitamins alone, their retail value are close to $35, and this is only $19.90. So enjoy, and I wish we had more time. We'll have a longer spot as well that's closer to an hour in length that you could see as well. But enjoy, best of health, and thank you so much, Daniel, for making this an incredibly great opportunity for my nonprofit to provide to everyone.
I'm so grateful.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.